recorded.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I just want to first welcome everybody on this call. Thank you for joining and taking the time out today on your Friday. I'm sure you're all pretty busy and / excited for the weekend, so thank you. First and foremost, I'd like to take attendance just to make sure I've got everybody here and I'm not missing anybody. So we have Joe Ramirez, Josh and Shannon Stewart, Chris Clark, Frank Hutto, Josh Scott, Travis Petrick, Ken and Carrie Matinka, and then Mark Boyd. Is there anyone else on the call that I missed? Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and get started. Just some quick updates before we jump into the ground game tactics. I do have two announcements. The Real Green Town Hall webinars, those are going to begin February 19th on Wednesday. They start at 12 o'clock. I believe they're scheduled from noon to 1 Eastern Standard Time. Like mentioned on our communication strategy calls, those are going to run for 10 weeks. Any questions, concerns, anything you have with SA5, please bring those to the webinars. Hopefully they'll add a lot of information and clarify a lot of the issues that you have going on with SA5. So please definitely schedule those in your calendar and make them a priority to get to. They're going to be very valuable for you. The Real Green modules on Service Assistant SA5 basic training are also now available on Lawn Doctor University. If you log on to Lawn Doctor University, under the Software and Technology tab, you'll find SA5 basic training. There's instructions and guides on adding products, creating price charts, adding programs, anything like that. I believe there's 8 or 9 topics there for you to go through. So if anyone's programs or pricing is not 100% set up yet in your database, please take a look at those this weekend and try to work on that. I know we've had some troubles in the past with SA5, but I know David Schneider has been in contact with us and he is trying to get caught up now. He was a little busy because he was doing openings while also pulling like 2019 customers over 2020. So he was very busy, but I hope he got around to everybody. If you still have any outstanding Real Green issues, please email me. We currently have a list of all outstanding tasks, so I do want to make sure that's up to date as possible. So after this call, please just email me if you still need any help with SA5. And then the other thing I did want to mention is here you'll see this active customer and sales summary report. In the past, we have had over here in this right-hand column sales data. Unfortunately, we're having some issues pulling accurate data. So for now, we've just pulled that out and we're just listing customer counts. So just wanted to give you a heads up. That's why that's missing. So like I mentioned, today's topics are B2B and parketing. So let's go ahead and we'll start with B2B first. I'm just going to scroll down to find that card. One second. Okay, perfect. This is what it looks like. So relatively green here. That's really great to see. I'm happy that everyone's finding success in this tactic. Just throwing out some questions, opening the floor up for discussion, but who would make the best B2B partner for you? What companies or business partners have you been reaching out to so far? And feel free to just kind of hop in here. We'll kind of take them as they go. Don't be shy. Now is a great time. We'll all get on the call and kind of help each other out with B2B.
Okay, I'll jump in.
Thank you.
The ones that I think are important to me anyway are the home builders. They have a network that is extraordinary as far as finding people. And we talked about it last week about cozying up to realtors. That's another good one for the new homeowner that's trying to improve their house and make a good impression with their neighbors. And really, any business, you'd be surprised where their tentacles reach. Like this week, I talked to some guys at a glass company. It was just one of those. They were having a meeting, and I popped in, so I got to introduce myself and provide cards to everybody. There were a dozen of them there, and I talked lawn care with them. Whether or not I get any customers remains to be seen, but at least I got my name out there.
Yeah, that's great. Is there anybody, home builders are perfect, realtors, landscaping companies, for those that don't fertilize, mowing companies are all in industry, definitely key partners to look out for. Is anybody finding success with maybe a unique partnership, something that was unexpected that maybe other people could kind of look into, like they didn't think at first would be the right move, but somebody turned out to really be beneficial for them? Any of those unique companies?
Hey, Gabriella.
I was just going to say that it's probably not unique, but I met with a pressure washing business this past week, and they do quite a bit of residential areas. So I'm expecting, a little bit from them.
Anybody in like the home services, home improvement industry is great. Plumbers, power washers, anybody who's looking to do home improvement are kind of have that mindset of fixing up their house. That also relates to fixing up their lawn. So those are definitely, anyone in the home industry is definitely a good person to target.
Also, Gabriella, this is Erica. I was thinking maybe like house cleaners, maid services. Usually they are in homes that people want, their homes to look good, but they don't necessarily want to maintain it themselves.
Yep, absolutely. Especially, yeah.
Along that same line, I was going to add, one of the guys that has helped me the most is the one I used to clean our carpets. I gave him a stack of cards, and I don't know where all he's gone, but it's been coming back. So that's another one.
Cleaners, these are all great examples. How are we finding these contacts? Is it through Chamber of Commerce, BNI, or is anyone maybe just going to Facebook and looking up local businesses? How are we, doing our research for this?
For me, it's called just living life and bumping into people. There's a few I seek out, but for the most part, anytime you run into somebody, it's an opportunity.
That's exactly right. Even if you're not on the clock per se, you're always networking. So it's a great idea. If you're just running to the grocery store, wear your lawn doctor gear, always have business cards on you. You never know who you're going to run into. So that's great. Always be on, As far as these meetings go, because the goal here for B2B is to have one meeting per month, with a very highly potential partner. Could somebody walk me through, for anyone that's on here that's got a goal listed in their, the B2B column, walk me through what one of those one-on-one meetings look like. What did you do? What was discussed? What kind of marketing materials were handed out? And how do you feel it went? And what would you do differently? Any advice that you could give, we do have some new owners on here that haven't gotten around, they're just new jumping on this call this week. So any advice you can give them for, to prepare them for when they have to go out and execute this tactic?
Gabrielle, it's Ken.
I can.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
One of the things that I've realized, and it just kind of goes along with Travis as far as living day to day, is just through your everyday. You'd be surprised how many people in your everyday life that can be a partner. Anywhere between, we found ours through the Chamber of Commerce, but also I've had flooring done at my house lately. So he's an independent, so he gets cards. I've had drywall done this year, roofing done this year. So all these people, as long as you remember that, hey, I'm in business now, I'm one of these guys, handing them a business card alone helps. Another guy I know has a tree service. So it's relatively easy if you think about it that way. I mean, people, I belong with the volunteer fire department. There's a ton of independents that volunteer, handing out cards. So, and as far as the conversation goes, is right now I just make it simple. You know, who I am, what I do, and explain to them that we don't cut lawn. Everybody wants lawn cuts, but right now that's not happening. So
That's perfect. It sounds like everybody is, kind of just doing the preliminary, who you are as a business owner, what Lawn Doctor is all about, and what kind of services you offer. Is anybody at the point where now we should be following up with these meetings? How are you doing that? A good way is, just always leave them a Google review in the hopes that you would get one in return as well. Send them an email. Do you get their contact information on these meetings, a telephone number, an email address? Shoot them a quick email thanking them for their time. Maybe send an attachment, whether it's a flyer or a brochure of your services, and then just kind of outline, what a partnership would look like and how you could both benefit from it. And then set a date, maybe mark it in your calendar of when you should follow up again. Because, especially business owners, they get super busy. In the moment, they probably think it sounds like a great idea, and then they get sidetracked by their own customers, that kind of thing. So follow up is really going to help strengthen these relationships and also help build these partnerships. So follow up is definitely key here. Has anybody had the chance, because we're coming up into 2020 spring season, has anybody had the chance to secure anything with a mowing company or a landscaping company? Is anybody looking into that?
I've been working with, actually since about day one, with a company called Yellowstone Landscaping, and I've got a couple others that do mowing, but Yellowstone Landscaping, he pretty much runs the territory I run. He does mowing and then he does the actual landscaping, but he does not fertilize or do weed control. So he and I work together. I've probably picked up 6 customers from their company last year. And it's just easy peasy. He sends me a text, hey, I'm over here, they want weed control, and away we go. So that's a great relationship.
Yeah, perfect. And I was actually going to ask, what does the exchange of referrals look like? Is it, so in your case, it's a text message, hey, I just serviced this customer, they're interested in XYZ, can you follow up? And then is it vice versa too, Travis? If anybody that you service is looking for landscaping, you kind of send them his way as well?
Yeah. We're doing the weed control and fertilizing and mosquito control, and it's just natural. Everybody says, well, do you mow lawns? And I'm really selective because I've got like 3 different people that have seen me in my uniform and said, I mow lawns, can we work together? But unless I know you, I'm not going to recommend you. I know the guy at Yellowstone, so I recommend him. And honestly, I've given him probably 2 customers. But yeah, we work back and forth, and I think that's where the relationship comes. It can't be a one-sided deal.
Yeah, absolutely. If it, it ends up being one-sided, it's just going to fall off eventually. And you make a really good point about, any of your business partners are really an extension of your business. So you don't want to refer your happy customers to a business that you necessarily wouldn't work with, or, always check their reviews. If they have a negative score on Google, that's kind of alarming. And make sure, that's why these one-on-one meetings are key, because you really want to get a feel for the business owner, make sure that they are credible, they provide quality work. If they really are, remember, an extension of your business. So the high quality that you provide to the customers, that's what you expect out of any partnership. So that was really key that you said that, Travis. You know, you got to trust who this person is that you're referring your customers to. So that's very crucial. And I also do want to say, as it relates to, you know, this exchange of referrals, it could be something as casual as a text message or, you know, you just handing out their business cards. We could also develop like a B2B smaller postcard that maybe there's a promotion on it, like you hand it out to any of your partners and say, you know, because you're a loyal customer of Joe's landscaping company, we'll provide you with 10% off, or we'll provide you with a free mosquito spray or something like that, just to kind of entice those customers to try you out. If you are uncomfortable with a 10% off, I always recommend a free soil enrichment or a free soil evaluation, even like that, a soil test, just something that you could entice their customers with. So if you are interested, when you get to that point, when you've kind of got a good B2B partnership, it's looking like it's going to go well, reach out to me and we can get some sort of postcard created for you that you could hand out to that business and they can give to their customers. Okay, anybody else want to talk about, walk us through any of their other one-on-one meetings? Who was it with? How did it go? What would you do differently? Anything like that? I see a ton of people on here are in green, so I know you guys are doing it. I know you've definitely got some wisdom to share with everybody. Please feel free to jump in now whenever you like. Okay, if everybody's good then, does anyone have any questions? Any of the new owners on here want to, you know, pose a question to the group regarding B2B?
Hey, Gabrielle, this is Kathy Robinson in Arkansas. I have a question. Hi, not exactly B2B, but just kind of marketing. Stephen, you know, he went through the course in January, and I'm coming next week to the lawn doctor training. But we don't actually have our license until, say, like the 17th, and Jay's not coming down until the 17th and 18th to kind of really get us going and get our websites and everything going. So we haven't started any real Facebook or B2B or anything. Stephen kind of got the impression we needed to wait until we had like our real green, you know, our RGS and everything all set up. So do we just need to hold off of, you know, that until, you know, our on-site meeting with Jay?
So a couple of these ground game tactics, we do say you should hold off until, you know, you're fully licensed. Same with your PPC and your media campaigns. We don't turn it on until you're licensed. However, there are a couple you could certainly be doing now. That's parketing. If you've received your vehicle yet, that one's great. You just, you know, find those high traffic locations, park your vehicle. You could also, your Facebook page, your local Facebook page, you could just start building content and followers on there. You're not pushing any ads through Facebook. That'll be done more so here in the media team, but you could just be building that local content, getting those followers, working on that kind of brand awareness that way.
So could we do like on Facebook, coming soon, Lawn Doctor Northwest Arkansas, something like that?
Yep, that's a great idea for sure.
Okay.
The coming soon banner, that would be great. As far as, because I know you don't have your Real Green software or anything set up, so it's kind of hard to do evaluations, that kind of thing. And I know you haven't received your door hangers yet, but I would just be, you know, just doing your networking. You do have those business cards, so like we've said, you know, on this call, just kind of go out when you're at the grocery store, wear your lawn doctor uniform. Networking will be good for you here, just until you get fully licensed. It's not like, we just don't want you to get in trouble if you go to like a chamber of commerce or something to ask for your business license, that kind of thing.
Right.
So just work on the networking. Anybody that you know should know that you're opening this business, and the coming soon is a great idea as well. You know, just kind of push out that you're not open yet, but you'll certainly take somebody's information and then reach out to them as soon as you're up and running.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I just wanted a little more clarification there because I'm like, surely we can do a little bit of something. So yeah. Okay.
And I also know your GMB listing is up and active. So you could be pushing for some character reviews on Google. I wouldn't get too many all at once because Google might flag you and kind of look into it. Really, you should hold off on any Google reviews until you are fully licensed. However, since you are Arkansas and you know your season's really kind of almost getting going, we do, and your PPC will be starting soon as well. So we would want to see a couple Google reviews on there just to kind of improve your online listing. So I would work on those as well.
Okay.
And then you've already signed up for that event, so that's great.
Okay.
Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions? Okay, we will jump into parketing. Let me just pull it up for everybody. Here it is. So, you know, we've talked about this one before. If anyone has any questions, feel free to jump in. It is pretty self-explanatory. We have talked about it, so I don't kind of want to bore everybody with this one. But all I ask is just take a look, and this kind of goes for all the tactics. Take a look at your current number compared to the goal and kind of come up with a plan or schedule out next week just to try to catch up, because as a reminder, you know, these weekly goals will keep increasing each week. And really to stay on track, you got to be keeping up each week. Otherwise you'll just fall behind and it will make it very hard to kind of get caught up. So just take a look at where you are now with parketing, and it's fairly easy to execute. You know, you just have to find those high traffic locations. Anywhere you think a good lawn sign would go. If there's a parking lot close by, that's a great idea to park. Home Depot, Lowe's, any of those parking lots, Walmart even, busy shopping centers, get your vehicle there. If you have to do office work, you know, maybe you take it to a Starbucks and you park your van in that parking lot and just kind of do some office work in a Starbucks or a Barnes & Noble or anything like that. Does anyone have any questions on parketing, or are they finding it difficult to fit it into their schedule? What are kind of the roadblocks we're running into here with this tactic?
Well, Gabrielle, if we received our van yesterday. So if we go take it to the Home Depot parking lot, about how long will they let you leave it there before they want you to move it? I mean, can you leave it from 8 to 5, or you only need to leave it 4 hours, or?
That's a great question. Is there anybody here that's parked their van in a parking lot such as a Home Depot or anything that could kind of shed some light on this for Kathy?
Usually what triggers them, the big boxes, is if you leave it overnight, because they come in, at least my routine, you come in the morning and you cruise around the building in the parking lot, and if the lawn doctor's there one night, you might get away with it. The second night, they will either call you or the cops or somebody, but usually the overnight is what triggers them.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can kind of treat it as like, you know, you wake up, you've got your day planned ahead of you. How can you fit parketing into it? Whether, you know, you're driving your vehicle and getting a ride back, or it's within walking distance of somewhere you need to go. Just kind of start making it a habit to include parketing in your everyday, you know, where you can bring it, that kind of thing. And this one will be certainly easy to catch up on. Okay, I do want to open the floor up now to if anyone has any questions regarding any of the other tactics or anything they want to kind of shout out to the group, and we can kind of bounce some ideas off of. It's your time. It's your Friday calls. Always remember that. So whatever you want to bring up, feel free.
Gabrielle, the Real Green that starts on the 19th, and you said that was for 10 weeks, every Wednesday?
Yes, it's every Wednesday after starting February 19th. They are at noon Eastern Standard Time. They will be recorded, so I will send out the recordings afterwards. Because I know a weekly commitment is a lot, but they're certainly very valuable. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions on Real Green, so please try and make it. But yes, they are every Wednesday starting February 19th for 10 weeks. But I will send out the recordings afterwards.
And the time frame is an hour or 2 hours?
It's 1 hour.
1 hour.
And what time of day is it?
Sorry, what was that?
What time of day are these webinars?
It's at noon, so 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So everyone should have received an invitation. It's titled like Town Hall, Real Green Town Hall webinars or something like that. If you do not have this in your calendar or did not receive an email, please let me know because there'll be a link to, where you have to log on, that kind of thing. So just check your email. It should be titled Town Hall, Real Green Webinars.
Jay sent out the information quite a while ago as well.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and I believe the host, his name is Mike, and he'll be from Real Green. I will join the call, so but he will most likely be running it. But I will be there, and I'll kind of take down any questions that you guys have, just to make sure if we don't get it resolved on that webinar, we'll certainly get it resolved on the next one, or I can follow up, with an answer. And then a reminder again, the Lawn Doctor University does have those Real Green modules now up, so please look at those. It's adding pricing, adding programs, products, all that that you certainly have questions for, so please take a listen to those, and hopefully those you'll find very helpful. Does anyone have any other questions?
Are we supposed to be receiving a, I saw something here with regards to it's a marketing booklet?
Yeah, so that actually came from the communications team. She just sent them out.
Okay.
You should be getting them shortly in the mail, but you did receive that email communication. I think that gives you just a brief overview of what's in it. But they did go out last Friday. Not last Friday. Was it? I can't remember when I saw her doing them, but it was fairly recently. So just be on the lookout in the mail for those. Okay, and I do just have a couple more things. I just want to, go over this one more time. Don't forget that each week the goals are just going to go higher and higher. So please try and take some time, whether it's at the end of this call or this weekend, really look at your scorecard, look at your current goals and where you should be, and kind of come up with a game plan on how you can stay on track. I just give you a warning now, you're only going to get busier as you start servicing. So it's really crucial, that you're kind of sticking with it now so that it really sets you up. You've got a good solid foundation of marketing that's going to take you, through your season. The benefits of all these 10 ground game tactics now as it stands are that brand awareness. It's going to really increase the performance of your PPC campaigns because it all works together, like what we learned about in training. It's all about customer impressions. So the more they see you on Google ads and the more they see you out and about and think you're busy servicing and that kind of thing, they get a positive impression of your brand. They're going to be more likely to convert into customers of yours. So it all works together. So please kind of get organized and figure out how you can, get up to the current goals. And for the new owners on the call, and just as a refresher for everyone, I'd like to end today's call just talking about the 10 ground game tactics and how it all gets broken down into the weekly goals. So, if you know all this, just bear with me, but we do have the new owners on here. So I just kind of want to go through it really briefly. Our tactics, we have Google reviews. So the end of the year goal is 50. And if you break it down, it averages 1 per week. So just keep that in your mind, 1 per week, and then you'll certainly be on track. BNI, it is one of those one-on-one meetings with a member each week. By the end of the year, you would have met with 20 people. So that's one per week. Same with Chamber of Commerce, exactly the same. A one-on-one meeting with a member each week, and the end of the year goal for that is 20. Community events, it's just, but the nature of this tactic, it doesn't get really broken down weekly, but the end of the year goal, it's 5 events you should have attended for the year. Parketing, it goes to 8 hours of parketing per week. If you stay on track, you would have a total of 288 hours for the season. That's amazing. So, keep that number 8 in your mind and just remember 8 hours per week. Parking ways is 2 hours per week. And by the end of the year, you would have done 50. Door hangers, it's 1,000 per week in your power window. So this is a little more specific here. The power window, is those 10 weeks in that prime selling season, when you're most likely to convert customers. So door hangers is 1,000 per week in your power window. And by the end, you would have put out 10,000 door hangers. Clover leafing is 10 door hangers every time you service. Lawn signs, you should have 100 by the end of your power window. So just kind of follow those weekly goals listed on that Excel spreadsheet you should all have. But your end goal is 100 by the end of your power window. And then B2B, what we talked about today is 1 meeting per month. And then by the end of the year, you should have 8 meetings total. So you would have had 8 of those strong B2B partnership meetings. Does anyone have any questions? It's kind of easier. Obviously, when you think about it as a weekly goal, the end of the year goals get a little overwhelming, but if you break it down each week, just remind yourself that's kind of homework for each week is what you've got to do.
Gabrielle, this is Chris. I got a question.
Sure.
With servicing starting, when will we receive the clover leafing door hangers?
So the clover leafing door hangers, they are in production now. What I would recommend is for those of you who start servicing and you don't have the clover leafing in hand, just use the door hangers as pieces. But you should be getting them fairly shortly. Let me just look at my calendar. Because they are in production. So by the end of next week, they'll be shipping out to you. And then depending on where you are, it should take about 2 to 3 days in transit. So not next week, but the beginning of the following week. Okay, if we're all good, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to email me or shoot me a text or a call, anything like that. I hope everyone has a wonderful Friday and enjoys their weekend. If you're watching the Super Bowl, if your teams are in it, I hope you win. But everyone have a great rest of your day.